Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboy Sports Report. It is December 12th, about 12 Central Time, my time. Actually, it's 11:03. Probably too late to do a live show, but I'm going to see if there's any night owl Cowboy fans out there. Don't want to just chop it up a little bit. Raymond, I can always count on you to be there whenever I go live. Welcome, my brother. How'd you enjoy that Eagles beatdown two nights ago? Wasn't that just like a work of art, just like a beautiful piece of jewelry, like a diamond? That game was just flawless, picture perfect, flawless. And now we're on to Buffalo, and if y'all are watching this show that will be uploaded, please hit that red subscribe button, guys. If you have not subscribed yet, it is free. It's a free investment. This show is still young. I'm at 365. That's one subscriber for every day of the year. First goal is at 500, then 1,000. When they hit 1,000, this show will skyrocket. I'll be able to get, put into the show, be able to get studio equipment, sound bites. Give this computer to my wife and get a state-of-the-art computer for film and graphics just for this, and have a call-in line. So whenever I do live shows and we have a big crowd, people can call in, just like on Law Nation. He's the one that inspired me to start my own channel. If I'd have known it was this easy to start your own show, I'd have done it back in 2013. Because my first game was Super Bowl 28 against Buffalo. I was 6 years old. That was, February 94, the 93 season. So I've been watching this team 30 years now, 27 years going. We haven't been back to the championship game. This team, in all the years I've been watching, I'll pick the best 4 seasons that we've had since 95. In 1999, we opened up 3-0. That offseason, we signed Rocket Ishmael. So we had a small, speedy guy that could take the top off the defense with a big physical playmaker, Michael Irvin. Troy Aikman still had a really good offensive line, and Emmett was still Emmett back in 99. Week 1, we're down 21 points in the fourth quarter at Washington. We come back to tie the game at 35 and win the game in overtime with a play action deep ball to Rocket Ishmael to win the game. We start the season 3-0. And if anybody had a great shot at the Super Bowl, it was us. Then week 4, we're 3-0. We go to 0-3 Eagles at the Vet. That's the game that Michael Irvin kind of broke his neck on a slant pattern. He goes down. Little white boy safety Tim Hawk hits him helmet to helmet as he's going down. There's like 30-minute timeout, take off his face mask, took him off on the stretcher. We wound up losing that game. Losing Michael Irvin killed that season for us. But that was a Super Bowl roster. Had that not have happened. 2007, we had a Super Bowl roster. We were the best team in our conference. Only thing is we had the undefeated Patriots looming over our shoulder, who gave us a beating week 6. Then we got 2014. We were, one catch away from the championship game. And then I guess you could say 2016 and 2018, 2016 we were the 1 seed. But this year, 2023, this team is better than all 4 of those teams. This team is accomplishing feats that we haven't done ever. How many 40-point games do we have so far? How many games? We only have had 2 games that we've scored under 30 points. No, 3 games. 3 games, those are all of our losses. 16 again at Arizona, 10 at San Fran, 23 at Philly. Only 3 times in 13 games have we scored under 30 points. Other than that, 10 games, 30 or more points. That's damn impressive. Our defense, the only bad performances that they've had, allowing 28 against Arizona. The 42 they allowed at San Fran, they were on the field about 45 minutes. So that was bound to happen. 28 against Philly and 35 against Seattle. Those are really the 4 bad games out of 13 that they've had. Other than that, they've held the opponent in check. We've had a shutout. We've had plenty of 10-point games, and we just held the Eagles' offense to 2 field goals. That 13 points they had, that touchdown was on Philly's defense. Strip sack fumble. Now, the playoff scenarios, we have 47 different combinations that can happen this weekend for us to clinch a playoff spot, which would be like the 7th seed. Just clinch it. 47 different scenarios. But we go to Buffalo this Sunday, beat Buffalo, and have a Detroit or Minnesota loss, then we will secure the 5 seed at minimum. But we don't want that. We want the 2 seed or the 1 seed. And we just saw the Rams and the Ravens going to overtime. Baltimore wins the game. Baltimore right now is number 1 in the AFC. It was going on Eric Walls. Thanks for you joining in, man. I just felt like doing a live show late night. I know on the East Coast it's midnight already. So, late night owl Cowboy fans, let's talk some ball, just for a little bit. So the Rams and Ravens went overtime. Rams have won 3 straight going into the Baltimore game at Baltimore. Took Baltimore to overtime. Rams are playing good. They are fighting for a playoff spot for that 7th seed. Yeah, I feel you, Eric. I've got a little conundrum I'll tell you about here in a second. But San Fran, they have Arizona this Sunday. Cakewalk. The one losable game everybody knows that San Fran has left is Baltimore, which will be the following week 16 after Arizona. But the Rams being a divisional opponent, gave San Fran a little bit of trouble earlier this season, could possibly very well pull off an upset. We need San Fran to lose 1 game, as we need Philly to lose 1 game. If the Eagles, who are leaking oil and limping, go to the link, the 12th man in Seattle, and lose that game and go to 10-4, and we go to Orchard Park, which my buddy has a ticket for me. I just got to get my ass over there. The prices skyrocketed after the Eagles game. I couldn't believe it. I'm about to get to that. And we handle Buffalo on Sunday. Handle our business. Take care of business on the road. Beat Buffalo. And then Monday night, the Seahawks, who are only 1 game out of the 6th or 7th seed. You get Minnesota at 6-7. Then you get Green Bay you get Minnesota at 7-6. Then Green Bay at 6-7. Green Bay has a 7 seed at 6-7. Then there's like 5 teams with a 6-7 record. Seattle being one of them. So Seattle, who has a lot of talent, hasn't played up to it this year, but can still get to the playoffs. Will be playing with all they got, especially playing at home. That's a tough place to play over there in Seattle. And the way that Philly is looking, that defense that can't stop a nosebleed. Geno Smith, who should play this Sunday, he didn't play against San Fran, and he had a good game against San Fran. Geno Smith with DK Metcalf, Lockett, and JSN, with tight ends Noah Fant, Will Disley, and running backs Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, he could put up 40 on the defense. He put up 35 on ours. He could put up 40 on that defense at home. And that defense with Jared Reed, solidifying the defensive line, Bobby Wagner, solidifying the linebacking core, still all world. And then you got 2 really good young corners, Tariq Woolen, 2nd-year shutdown, Devin Witherspoon, the best corner in the draft. I think he should be considered defensive rookie of the year also. And then safeties, you got Quandre Diggs at free safety. The boy has range, and you got Jamal Adams at strong safety, your box safety. The guy that should spy Jalen Hurts, or if Jalen wants to run and get cute with that bum knee he has, pop him once. Jamal Adams just give him one good pop, and I bet you he'll stop that. But if that happens, and we are 11-3, they go to 10-4. The number 4 on the tie-breaking procedures, number 4 is common opponents. The conference record doesn't go until number 5. That's if common opponents you tie. We beat Seattle. If they lose to Seattle, that will be huge. They beat Buffalo, so that's why we got to beat Buffalo and Miami, because they beat both of them. But on Friday, my buddy asked me if I wanted to go to the Buffalo game. He's going to go to Toronto. He left tonight to go check out Canada and whatnot. But his bucket list is to see the Cowboys play in every stadium in the NFL. And so I've got a ticket waiting for me up there. And round trip tickets are like $400 or $500 on Friday from Houston to Buffalo and back. So like, man, it's not a bad price. But I was like, I'm not going to go unless we beat Philly, because if we don't beat Philly, then the Buffalo game doesn't really have much meaning to it. And we beat Philly. And then so yesterday, I'm going to book my flight. And all of a sudden, from Friday at around $500 round trip, it's like $1,700 round trip. I've got one on hold right now for $1,140. I've got a buddy with a lot of flyer miles. I'm trying to see if I can get an early Christmas present to chop that in half, because I would love to leave on Saturday and be in Orchard Park on Sunday to represent the Cowboys. We travel like no other team. And all the airlines I called said the reason why the prices went up just like that on tickets to Buffalo is because of the Cowboys-Bills game. Just because of that, all the operators know why that happened. And I was like, damn, man, I should have just booked my tickets on Friday and had enough faith to know that we were going to drop Philly at home when we should have dropped them at their own house. My prediction before the season started, Eric Wallace, I always don't see that I. Eric Wallace, I need your boys to show up Monday night at home and drop them birds. Y'all are the Seahawks. We need y'all to drop them Eagles out of the sky. Have an aerial attack fight. I don't care how it is. Do what y'all got to do. Drop Philly. If Jamal Adams needs to pop Jalen Hurts a few good times to get him a little bit of woozy, so be it. So y'all can, get if y'all get the 7 seed, Eric, if y'all get the 7 seed, Seattle, I think that'll be the most dangerous 7 seed that NFC's had since, we've had 7 playoff teams since 2021. Last year's 7 seed was the Giants. They weren't dangerous. They just played a bad Minnesota team who was a 2nd seed. Minnesota was a horrible number 2 seed also. But if y'all get in as a 7 seed, y'all will be a dark horse and a team that nobody will probably want to play. Y'all got so much damn firepower. Yeah, y'all do. Y'all got a great head coach. And when the Niners dropped Philly, Nick Bosa said in the post game that we have the blueprint to beat Philly. We hope Dallas watches the tape. Keep them in containment. Don't let them run through the B gaps, and that's exactly what we did, except we actually blitzed. San Fran didn't blitz. San Fran blitzed 9% of the snaps. The Jets blitzed them 12% of the snaps. The other 2 losses. there was a handful of times that we brought the house on 3rd and long, 4th and long, and Jalen couldn't, hardly get the ball off because it's a little bit different with us. We have a fast pass rush. The Niners have a good pass rush, but they're not as fast as our defense is. Our defense can reach a quarterback quicker than anybody else's. So I'm sure Pete Carroll and their defensive coordinator and Pete Carroll knows a thing or two about defenses, being that he was a head coach during the Legion of Boom with Dan Quinn, is going to watch what San Fran did and what we did. We held that offense to 2 field goals. 2 field goals. And Philly is going to be on the road again for a second straight week. If that Seattle defense can hold the Eagles to 20 points, 21 points, 3 touchdowns, I believe Seattle can win. Because I believe Seattle can put up 35 on them like they did us. I don't see why not. Because before the Kansas City game, the Eagles were only allowing like 46 rush yards a game. And then when they went to Kansas City, coming off a bye week, you think they'd be fresh. Pacheco and company with KC ran for over 150 yards on that Philly defense. Following week at home against Buffalo ran for over 150 yards on that Philly defense. Then the Niners ran for 146 against that defense. And then we're not a big running team, but we've started to run the ball better and better the last 5 games. Our offensive line, our starting 5, since we got 77 Tyron Wednesdays and Bubble Wrap, and he's playing every week now. When we first had our starting 5 that we've been waiting for since the beginning of last year, they didn't look too hot because it takes time for a starting 5 unit that's really good to gel, for each player to know what the guy beside him is going to do without even thinking about it. Like, it becomes reflex, instinct. And that offensive line is starting to gel now, starting to push defensive lines backwards. We were pushing that Philly defensive line backward. We were that Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox. We were pushing them backwards with Tyler Smith, Zach Martin, B. Dash doing all right. Tyron Smith is looking like vintage Tyron Smith. When Dak steps back right now, he is not worried about his blind side because he knows he's got big 77 with a elbow brace on his, no, a knee brace on his elbow, and Tyler at left guard. He knows his blind side's good. He can see what Steele's doing, and Terrence has gotten a lot better since week 9 when he got, beat up by, the Philly pass rushers. Now, we our yards against Philadelphia, I don't even think I wrote it down. It was like 140 yards. Tony Pollard, Enrico Dowdle were getting 8, 9, 10-yard runs up the middle at that. And then, end arounds. Turpin had a 22-yard end around. CeeDee Lamb had a 15-yard end around. So, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett are very capable of doing those type of plays too, with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet as a hell of a good 1-2 punch. Charbonnet's a damn good rookie running back. Kenneth Walker's no joke either. But that Seattle offensive line needs to step up to the job. Old man Jason Peters, he got to play ball. Was it Charles Cross, first round pick you got last season? And I think those are only 2 guys I know on the Seattle offensive line. But if Devin Witherspoon and Tariq Woolen can, stay on A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, which they can because them boys can cover, and Quandre Diggs plays good at free safety, and they stop the run with Adams in the box, I believe they can shut down this Eagles offense that has become anemic very, very anemic. And they play Monday night, so I guess sometimes you want them to play the same day, but I guess it's cool because we'll play Buffalo Sunday. If we take care of our business and beat Buffalo on the road, that'll be another big victory for us. People start to buy in finally. We'll be 11-3, and then on Monday we'll go about our business Monday, and then get to watch that Eagles game Monday night, and then root for Seattle like hell, like we are Seahawks fans from birth. And if Philly just drops that Seattle game, then that's their third conference loss. Which will match our third conference loss. We have all our three losses are NFC. That'll be their third conference loss. And if we were to, and we beat Seattle, so that'll be one of the common opponents that we beat that they didn't. Our common opponents with Philly is, besides the division, Arizona, which they'll probably beat. So just assume they beat Arizona, right? So if they drop against Seattle, then that washes out right there. And then you got Buffalo, Miami, common opponents. The Rams, we both won against them. So we would have to beat Buffalo and Miami on the road for sure. Detroit, we could lose against Detroit. If Philly loses against Seattle, we have to beat Buffalo and Miami. If we do that, then we have room for error. We could lose against Detroit and still win the division. Both be 13-4 and win by a tiebreaker, But let's not do that. I think we're going to run the table. I don't see us dropping any of these next 4 games. I know the next 2 are on the road. We're 3-3 on the road so far this season. We should be 4-2 because at Philly we should have. That game was ours. But I predicted before the season started we'd go 14-3. After the Eagles lost, we were 5-3, and I was like, my prediction ain't looking so good. We're 8 games in, already got 3 losses. I think we are going to win out, which means that we'll have a 9-game winning streak to end the season. Philly loses, and the Giants, they just beat Green Bay. The Giants are 1 game out of the 7th seed also. Packers are 6-7 right now, holding the 7th seed. Giants are 5-8. The Giants beat the Saints this Sunday. They'll go to 6-8. And and then Brian Dable is going to be, playing for the playoffs. And he's going to have them playing at their, the best that they can play in. DeVito is looking pretty good right now. And the kid can run against Green Bay. DeVito had like 158 yards passing. Nothing big. I think he had a passing touchdown, but he had 70 yards on the ground. So he has threat with his legs. And Saquon Barkley went off in that game also. So it would be really good if the Giants that the Eagles face are the best that they've played all season, which will be week 16 and week 18. They were horrible in the beginning of the year, but they're starting to pick it up now. And they've won 3 in a row, I believe. I believe that Packers game was their 3rd straight victory. Since we beat them down 45-17, they've won 3 in a row. And if they beat the Saints on the road, and the Saints, they're 6-7, but they have a tough defense. And they have Derek Carr, and they got Chris Olave on offense. They Alvin Kamara, they've just severely underachieved so far. If the Giants beat the Saints, then the Eagles will have a tougher schedule down the stretch than they think. because you'll have a 6-8 Giants team waiting for them next week because they'll know if they get another win or two that they could possibly get into that 7 seed. And if you get into the tournament, anything could happen. Anything could happen. And this new kid, DeVito, nobody's got tape on him. Now, he's not looking like a world beater right now, but he just has a game manager. He just be a game manager, use his legs, let Saquon do what he does, and let the defense play defense. So, just like the Eagles postgame show Sunday night, I saw it a few hours ago. Seth Joyner, an ex-Eagle, who was on the panel of 4 guys, said that the way Philly is looking right now, the way they're playing, the way they're being coached, that the last 4 games of their schedule are not gimmies, that he does not believe that they're going to win out. He believes the Giants have a good shot at splitting with them. And Seattle, especially at home, has a good shot at dropping them. Now, if San Fran runs the table and finishes 14-3, and we do 2, then we'll be the 2 seed. I can live with that. Because as a 2 seed, wild card weekend will be at home, playing the 7 seed, and then we handle business, at home as we do. And then in the second round, we'll be at home playing the lowest remaining seed. No, playing the highest seed. And the lowest seed will go to San Fran. But we'll be at home. And we ball out at home. And that could, wind up being a Cowboys-Niners NFC championship game that we haven't seen in 29 years. 1994, they had 3 years in a row, 92, 93, 94. A Cowboys-Niners NFC championship game would be huge. And the Cowboys are not intimidated by San Fran. We got beat down week 5, yes. We were a different team in week 5. We weren't running the offense that we were running now in week 5, and not near as good as we are now. We were playing our cards really close to the vest. We were being really conservative. Everybody thinks the Cowboys are intimidated by San Fran, but they're not. And if anybody wants a taste of revenge, it's Dak. And he will be ready if that time comes. If all this hypothetical talk that I'm talking happens, and we're the 2 seed, we're the 1 seed, and it happens to be Cowboys in the Bay Area for the championship game, it ain't going to be no blowout. It's going to be a tough physical matchup because as we demonstrated Sunday night, we are a physical team now on both sides of the ball. We just hope Jonathan Hankins gets healthy soon. And if he misses a couple games, that we can still win without him. Stop that run up the middle pretty good, and maybe it's a blessing in disguise because then maybe when he comes back, he's healthy, he's rested, and, they give us more juice up the middle to stop that run. There's rumors of, bringing Nadal McConnell in for a cup of coffee. I wouldn't mind doing that. Bring in Sue for a cup of coffee. See if he has some motor in the tank to, help you in a playoff run. Why not? Why not bring in Sue? Sue and Hankins, and Sue with Hankins could be a big teacher to Mozzie, show him a lot of things. And you also still have Zach Ertz. I believe he's still a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. Our, Hendershot is okay. Schoonmaker's okay. Ferguson is becoming a star. I said it last season. A lot of people kept telling me that he was going to be Dalton Schultz at best. He's already better than Dalton Schultz. Jake Ferguson is going to be our next star tight end. But why not sign Zach Ertz? Veteran tight end, won the Super Bowl. That'd be another guy on the squad that has a ring, knows what it takes to win the championship. It would be a great number 2 tight end for us as a receiving threat and a blocking tight end also. I would call him in for a cup of coffee. It doesn't cost us any draft picks to do this. Call in Marcus Peters also, cornerback. He's only 30 years old. I thought he was much older, but he was drafted in 2015. Marcus Peters, for cornerback depth. God forbid, Gilmore goes out for a game or Blaine goes out for a game. Marcus Peters would be a great fill-in, a lot better than Deshaun Wright, because we have no cornerback depth behind J. Lou, Bland, and Gilly. After that, it's Deshaun Wright and Eric Scott Jr., I believe. He's been a healthy scratch all year, but yeah. So you got Deshaun Wright, who cannot cover the broadside of a barn, and Eric Scott Jr., who hasn't played a snap in a regular season game. So I would be a lot more comfortable signing Marcus Peters to a, small, 1 year rest of the season deal, and see if Sue has anything left. If he's got one more championship run left in him for our defense. Our offense is good. It's good to go as long as that O-line stays healthy and we don't have any major injuries. Offense is good. Defense, call Marcus Peters and Ndamukong Kong Sue, and just for depth purposes, why not? And I bet you Shaq Leonard right now is like, man, I might have picked the wrong team. I look kind of dumb right now, man. I picked Philly. We went into Dallas, and we just got our ass whooped. But, we don't need Shaq Leonard. We did sign Rashaan Evans, who's not as good, but Marquise Bell is playing lights out. Damone Clark hasn't, been what we've wanted him to be, but he's getting the job done. We're just hoping that Hankins' high ankle sprain isn't super serious, and it doesn't cost us against Buffalo or Miami, because Miami can run the football. So if he misses Buffalo, hopefully he's back Christmas Eve against the Dolphins. We shall see. But let's see real quick before I end this. Zach Ertz. Let's see if he's still a free agent. Because there was a free agent out there that I wanted to go, bring in, and turned out he already signed with somebody. Who the hell was that? It was four free agents I had my eye on last week. Hold on one second. You write so many notes down. Sometimes it gets a little bit crazy. Derek Barnett. Yeah, Derek Barnett. But we don't need another edge rusher. The Texans picked him up off waivers. Zach Ertz cleared waivers, and he's having serious conversations with 6 different teams, 6 contenders. I don't know who the six contenders are. A lot of rumors are him going back to Philly, but Jerry Jones call Zach Ertz in, bring him in for a cup of coffee, be a salesman, bring in Sue and bring in Peters for the stretch run of December and for January. Do it for the depth, and Zach Ertz would be another bullet in the gun for the offense that just looks unstoppable right now. I'm just talking to myself now. Guys, subscribe, like, and share, man. Help me get to 500 at least by the end of the month. And then in the off season, I'll hit 1,000 when that happens. And then when that happens, this show will take off. This show will be a show that you look forward to watching. I guarantee. That is a promise. I am guaranteeing that to you. When I get studio equipment and I get this thing set up the right way with a call-in line, and when I start doing live shows and start getting 20, 30, 40, 50 people in, and y'all can call in, pre-game, post-game, during the week, you will be entertained. I guarantee you that. I've got 30 years of watching this team up here. I played my entire youth, been a student of the game my entire life. I've bled blue and silver since I was 6, so I can't reach these goals without my brothers and sisters who bleed the same blood I do. So please hit that subscribe button. That like button helps the video get viewed more, guys. Please share the content if you like it. Hope you did. I just, it's a Tuesday night. I had a little energy left from the day, and I decided I got this laptop on Black Friday. It's easier to do live shows on. It uploads just like that. So, I figured I'd get on and just, jack my jaws as I like to do. But have a good Wednesday, guys. Hopefully I get to Buffalo on Saturday. If I can get to Buffalo on Saturday night, basically that's what the flight would get me there at 11:30 at night. That'd be great if I can, I've got the money to do it. I just don't want to come off $1,200. So my buddy with them frequent flyer miles can help me out, on one way of the trip that cuts it in half. I'm definitely going. And I've never been to an away game. Been a ton of home games. My bucket list is not like my buddies. My buddy's bucket list, like I said, is to see the Cowboys play in every stadium in the NFL. My bucket list is to see the Cowboys play every team in the NFL, regardless of where it is. So, home games, 4 hours away. I live in Houston, 4-hour drive, no big deal. Now, Buffalo on short notice, kind of hard. 37 minutes, goodness. Okay, I'm in this, guys. Have a great Wednesday. Hopefully, there's no chatter on these free agents, but hopefully we wake up, one day this week and see that we signed a Marcus Peters or a Zach Ertz, or a Ndamukong Suh because of the Hankins high ankle sprain. And it's time for Mozzie. It's time for Mozzie Smith to step up and earn that number one pick, first round pick pedigree. Because our number one picks ball out year one. They do, especially our, offense, defense don't matter. Only ones who didn't was Mo Claiborne in 2012 and Taco Charlton 2017. Other than that, our first round picks ball out year one. They all do. So Mozzie, if Hankins is going to miss a couple games, it's going to be your job to step up and clog up that middle and be that one tech, run, stop, and nose guard that we need. All right, guys. You have a good week. I'll catch y'all later on. Charles in Charge is out. Deuce.